Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to Gam Sessions, episode 11. I'm Madhurima Sapati coming all the way from India, and that's Gisela coming all the way from all the way from Utah. Here we are. It's amazing. We were having a lively conversation, and we have a lot to talk about. So let's get it.
Yeah, we do.
Tomorrow. Let's talk about how important tomorrow is. I'll tell you
Yes.
our cultural significance of why tomorrow is an important day.
Please,
Yeah.
please tell me. I want to know.
Awesome. Okay, so tomorrow is the full moon. I don't know specific details about it, but we celebrate a festival called Raksha Bandhan, which basically is this, you tie a band or a thread, a sacred thread, sisters tie it around brothers' hands so that they go ahead and they are like, I will protect you on this day because you have been protecting me for so long. Let me protect you for tomorrow. And brothers basically give a gift as a thank you. And we are mostly excited about the gift and not that much about protecting. But honestly, it's a fun festival that we do here. And I remember my mom telling me a story. It's a legend, but I'm not that aware about it. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much truth it holds and how well I remember the story, so I'm gonna skip it. But we have been celebrating it purely as a way for sisters to protect their brothers because brothers keep protecting us for they have been protecting us all our lives, no matter if we are younger or elder to them. Doesn't mean that sisters can't protect. This festival is literally saying that sisters can protect their brothers too, and we kind of everyone celebrates it differently, but in our house we kind of give that protection to our brother in a more spiritual way as well, and it's like an year long protection almost of taking care of them and holding them in a very safe space and making sure that no harm comes to them. So yeah. Hey.
Beautiful. I feel
Yes.
like I really like that a lot
Yeah. Yeah.
because August 11th has come up so many times to me. I don't
Mm.
remember. I know it's the full moon.
Mm.
Energetically, it is the most balanced day in Kabbalah. Um, the Lionsgate portal closes on the 12th.
Mm.
Like this week is a lot, and we're like halfway through Leo season, so
Mm.
like so many different things. As for the full moon, it's going to be on the 11th, like I said.
Mm.
I'm like trying to double check what sign it's gonna
Yeah, what did you do for like I think it was on the 8th that it was at
be.
its peak. What did you
Yeah.
do during that day? Because we did a fun ritual. I feel like for some reason that day the energy in our house was like really weird and really negative in the morning. I was just like, ugh, like I could feel that negativity, and it wasn't just me; it was my mom and my brother as well. So what we did was we took a piece of paper, tore it in half, wrote down our fears, wrote down what we want to manifest, because it was, after all, the Lionsgate portal is all about manifesting our reality and letting go of the past. So we wrote down our fears, we wrote down what we want to manifest, and then we burned it with bay leaf.
That's gorgeous.
Yes.
You did that as a family?
Yeah, we did. And
Y'all are
it,
cute.
yeah. And it honestly cleared up so much energy. Like we could feel that almost shift into positive vibes. I mean, I know a lot of you all are rolling your eyes out there like, Madhurima sounds damn, like, that doesn't make any sense. But you can actually feel that energetic shift.
Yeah.
I mean, the more connected you are, you feel like we can all feel that shift in energy of almost like that suffocating almost vibe where we can't even breathe without being like, "Oh, what's happening," to a more like, oh, I can breathe more freely right now kind of a vibe.
Yeah. And I want to touch on that because a lot of people might think that we're being like woo woo.
Mm,
And first of all, I think that term is silly because like woo. But anyway,
I know. I
like why
know.
wouldn't you want to be?
I know.
Anyways.
Anyways, let's not get into that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I I think it's important to remember that all you guys did, like scientifically, you sat down as a family, as a community, and you set an intention, and then you took an action. Literally from thought, emotion into action. The God, the mother, and the son, like that, literally, like you were able to take from the thought realm, feel it in your body, consider everybody involved, compassionately decide on how to act with intention, and then you quite literally changed the energy in the room, because how you guys were feeling, how your intentions were, how you were previously acting were probably in that like uncomfortable, like dark, like maybe heavy energy that you had. So taking that action to like take that, like to lighten your load, helps a lot. Like scientifically, like you quite literally changed the energy in the room. So
yes, I don't care what you
Let's
guys
go.
think, but
Yeah, like, so,
we
like,
gotta do it. Yeah,
whatever.
Whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the full moon is going to be in Aquarius
Oh.
tomorrow. So it's a really potent time for change, transformation. And I know there's a lot of things that you can do with the full moon. I always, like I said, I think like 3 or 4, I don't even know. A while ago, I talked about the 6-month cycle. So check 6 months ago where you were in the new moon of Aquarius. See what seeds you may have planted, and how they're manifesting in your life now. And right now, with the full moon, the light is shining on the reality, and it's time for you to take a look around and say, is this what I wanted? And what needs to maybe change, what needs to be moved around. And then I'm going to check right now to see when that new moon in Aquarius was. February 1st. So, and then August 11th, Thursday, is also like a really big day in Kabbalah. I know they said, I listened to a podcast this morning about it actually, but they mentioned it. But basically they talked about how it is the most energetically balanced day of the year, because the full moon is going to be huge, right? And it's in, like, we're in Leo, and Leo has to do with like the sun and the moon. Like it's just everything's going to be energetically balanced, but there's another like God or deity that sends us or allows us to send them like wishes and stuff. So regardless of the details, I believe it's going to be a really powerful day tomorrow. New or full moons always are for me. They always give me so much energy. And they're always a really great day to like I said, just like tap in, review where you've been, and see where you want to go.
Yeah, I hear you. And I love the fact about the transformation. I feel like that is definitely an energy that I have been feeling since today almost. That shift in the energy that I have been feeling the entire day. Like you should have seen me yesterday, G. I was in a place where like I woke up late, I slept in the afternoon, and then I slept early as well. I was like sleeping almost for like half of the day, and I was just like, ugh. I mean, I love sleeping, but I was like, oh, I haven't done anything. Like all I did was make one video, and I was like, I felt very unproductive almost. But then since today morning, I haven't like a go, and it's almost scaring me how productive I've been. I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. But again, I feel like tapping back into patterns, it is something that I told you also, I think, before we jumped on this call, that I'm planning on like making notes of what I did today and repeating that cycle again and seeing if it works tomorrow and day after tomorrow, and for how long it works, and when it stops working, what I can do to kind of tweak it so that it continues working almost. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
I really like that. I feel like patterns are super important to study, especially in our own lives. And I know we talk about this a lot, how
All
we're
the
just
time,
like cycling, right? And we're constantly moving up. but in every moment, even if we're spiraling up, if you have, I feel like I'm going to do this so you can see, if you're spiraling and every time you reach like my pinky, you have an issue with your relationship, then every time you come around to it, you'll have an issue, but you're at a higher point of view. So I believe finding out what your patterns are and finding out what activities or what activities, what things that you surround yourself with actually give you that energy, that circuitry to like continue moving. I feel like that's so important. I feel like not enough people study patterns. And that's something that I've always been just like really good at picking up on. And I think that's why I like astrology so much, because it's all about patterns. Like it's patterns that we've studied for like literally thousands of years. Like it's not about, oh yeah, the moon like controls the tide and you're made of water. Like, yes, okay, that probably has some, like that, and the patterns that we see like as a civilization, as we've kept record of planets and stars and like their effects on the earth, and how like heat flashes affect the amount of energy that the world is going through, and how energy creates movement, and that's why things are building so much faster, because the world is getting hotter. Like patterns are important. Patterns are,
I hear you. Ooh, I love that a lot. Ooh, I feel like that is definitely something that has been on my mind. Oh, boo. I swear to God, I had so many revelations today. I want to get into it, but you want to get into your revelations first? Like, I'm fine with either.
Yeah, that's sure. We can start with me. So I too have been on like an emotional roller coaster lately, or like energetic roller coaster even. Yesterday I was hyped. I was like the opposite of where you were sleeping. I probably wanted to be sleeping, but I woke up and got a coffee. And then I got a coffee and I went to work, and I was like working.
Let's go.
Like, physically. And then I went to the gym after, so I got more of a pump. So I'm feeling like big. And like, so I just didn't allow myself to sit down, because I knew I was going to just like go to bed. And I'm like, I have that tiredness on me today. And I'm like, ooh, perfect. Like I don't work today, so I'm gonna just like take it easy. But, and I messaged you this the other day, where I said, like, I'm learning to live in my duality. And like, you're like, that's heavy. I'm like, it's actually really nice. Like, I thought it was going to be scarier. I thought it was going to be hard, but I feel like, and I'm like looking at my journal, because I feel like I wrote it down pretty well. But I feel like for a long time, I like put myself on a pedestal. And not to, I don't want to like get into that kind of thing, but like I felt like I put myself on a pedestal, and while like the ego that came with that was energizing at some points, where you're like, oh, I feel so much better than people, it's also extremely dehumanizing to yourself and to others, but to yourself. Like the only reason it is to others is because you're doing it to you. And I wasn't allowed to make mistakes or hurt people or say things or be a specific way. And I mentally punished myself for it. And I feel like lately I've just been okay with not being super great at everything, and really taking that pressure off and realizing that every single person is the ruler of their own kingdom. And I'm not on a pedestal, I'm on my own throne, and so are they. And it really like levels out the playing field, where everyone's just like, everyone's playing their game, everyone's ruling their kingdom, everyone's doing what they can for themselves and for the people that they love. And sometimes they make mistakes, sometimes they make the wrong call, sometimes they accidentally hurt you. And when that happens, it's up to both of you to decide, like, is this worth us rebuilding that trust, rebuilding that foundation?
Oh, that's, I want to say it's heavy, because it's a lot to take on one person. Like the after effects of it can be very light and very freeing, but that process, I feel like personally for me, it's like too heavy to handle, which is why I tend to kind of like bite. I ain't here anymore.
You're just like, peace.
Yeah, that's what I'm after. But honestly, I feel you. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It
Yeah.
was, I feel like it did feel really heavy for a
Mm.
while. I feel like I was in just like darkness and I kept trying to run away from it in
Mm.
search of the light. And I'm like, I
Mm.
don't know where it is. Like, I can't find it. I'm freaking out. And then I realized that like the darkness is the light. Like, there's no separation. That separation is something I created in my head, because if everything was made by the creator, by the light, then even the darkness, even the profane and the profanity is profound, is divine.
Yeah.
And in that darkness I was able to like be held and really remember that I'm I often have to, it's not that I have to suffer, but it's like I have to understand my shadows and my darkness in order to see where my light is shining in and where that obstacle is. Because if the light is here, obstacle here, and I'm here, I'm in the
You are
shadow,
saying that
and
out
I
there.
need to see what this is so I can dismantle it or let it go or like liberate it, and then I can then see the light shine through.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, it's just been like, it's been intense, and I feel like I just feel tired, like
Yeah.
physically, and I just like want to fall asleep and like
Yeah.
curl up in a little ball and go to
Yeah.
bed. But but also like I have felt like renewed energy this week, even though it has been like back and forth a bit. I feel like, sorry, okay, one last share and then you can go.
No, go for
Um
it. Go for it.
um the other day someone told me that I hurt their feelings, and that killed me. Like, it hurt so bad, because that is the one thing that like I've always um like suffered from, I want to say, where someone didn't take my feelings into account when I was a child, and I was like I couldn't trust them anymore. Like, they didn't love me. Like, everything from then on out was like, can't share emotions, those don't matter, like those don't count. And so when they told me that, I was like, I was crushed, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to justify my actions or give you excuses as to why it happened, but all I can say is that wasn't my intention, and I'm really sorry. Like, I hope you know that I do love you. And I like poured my heart out to them, and I was like, I'm really sorry. And you're allowed to feel this way. Like, I don't want to feel like you need to fix it. Like, I'm going to fix it, or you have to change. Like, you're allowed to be sad. And I hope you know that I would love to be here and like hold you if you're sad, or like just be next to you while you're sad. And if there's anything you would like from me, like, I would love to give that to you. And I like was crying, and I told them like the story about how that crushed me, because I never wanted to do that to someone. And they were like, well, you didn't. Like, you hurt my feelings, but it's not like you did it on purpose. It's not like you completely disregarded me after. Like, you're being very loving, you're still showing up. So that whole like thing allowed me to realize that how intense I was being on myself, because I was like, my throat is like, stop talking.
Yeah.
Because yeah, because I feel like even if I see the impact that I have on people and it's not positive, I like get mad at myself for it. But I don't see that the examples I've had through life show me exactly like how to do that exactly. They don't show me how to be a good person. They don't show me how to be compassionate and caring and loving towards people and like nurturing to myself. So I'm living off of a example that never existed. And I feel like I don't give myself credit for that. And I feel like I've been trying to do that more. And ever since that day, it's been nice to be like, oh, I'm feeling this. That's okay. You're allowed to feel that. And you don't have to change it, and you don't have to run away from it. And that's okay. It's been nice.
I love that. Yeah. That's a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you had a conversation around it and you're moving through it rather than ignoring it, because a lot of people, including myself, if I'm being very honest, try to run away from it. right? Like I am honestly the kind of person who will just be like, yeeks, I am sorry, I'll go beat my. Oh, actually, I feel like we are pretty similar in the fact that I would beat myself up about like, oh my god, I
Just
suck at this. I'm so
literally.
stupid. Blah 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 blah. And
And then you try to make up for it and you're like, well, I didn't mean to, like, well,
yeah,
this
yeah,
and
yeah,
that, like, well,
yeah.
these things happened. And
Yeah,
like,
that's don't call me out, boo. I came here to have a fun time. You're calling me out. I'm like, why? Oh god, yeah. That's honestly me. Almost 120% of the time. I'm just like, yeah, it's my fault. I know it's my fault. And I did this behavior so much, even back in university, I and so we were three roommates, and I and another one of my roommate had this really big fight. And it it happened because, honestly, because of the fact that I was bottling up so many things, and I was like, no, 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 I won't tell her. I won't, because me being a people pleaser, I'm just like, yeah, let's go. I don't mind, I don't care. And then it suddenly burst up, and I was just like, I can't deal with this shit anymore. I don't want to deal with it. And it honestly bubbled to a point where we had a really huge fight. And then eventually we decided to kind of like, she went her way, me and the other roommate kind of moved away together. But even before that, I remember apologizing and like, you know what, you don't have to worry about this. This is all my fault. This is all my fault. This is all my fault. And even as I was saying that, there were like these two negative energies almost. There was nothing positive about it, right? There was one negative energy was like, but it isn't your fault. Like, why are you owning up to shit that you didn't even do? Like, okay, you shouldn't have gone all out and being all crazy, but it's not all your fault. And the other part of me was like, I'm just doing this to manipulate her to kind of say she's sorry too, and she's owning up to her shit too. And it was a pretty wild thing, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm even scared to speak about it right now, because I'm like, oh my god, if she comes across this, she's gonna be like, you're so weird. Like, I honestly recently called her up and I was like, I'm sorry for all that I did. And it was genuinely heartfelt, rather than me trying to apologize for all the bullshit. I took Preston's advice. It took me 3 years, no, almost 2 years for that advice to kind of land. I was like, I want to release all this energy that I tend to hold up inside my body, which I do a lot. Hence why I'm so fat. It's all this negative energy that I've been carrying. um, but yeah, I mean, it felt very releasing if I think about it. But honestly, I see a lot of myself in you. I feel like it's almost a reflection, which is why I feel like we are such good friends also, because and yeah,
like,
yeah. We out to get each other, but we are also there to support each other. So like, I mean, I'm
ex-
here for it. Yeah.
when we call each other the other person now, we're actually calling ourselves out. And we're like, wait, damn
Bro,
it.
stop it. I know,
Shit.
but like, stop it.
I feel like that's something that a lot of people do, though. They like take accountability for impact.
Mm.
And while it's beautiful to see the impact that you have on other people, it's also not your place to tell someone how to feel.
Mm.
And and I don't know, like, I feel like it's not up to me to tell someone like that I'm only there to make them happy.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm there to make them feel. I'm there to make them feel. Like, if I don't make you feel anything, why are we hanging out?
I know.
But I would rather be anything but okay. I always tell that to someone. I'm like, I would rather be anything but okay. I would rather be in agonizing pain or excruciatingly full of joy. Like, if I'm okay, I'm not okay.
Yeah,
like,
I hear
take
you.
me out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I feel like I see a lot of people constantly apologizing for things they either didn't do, or for just like changing maybe either a perception that others had of them, or changing the energy in the room, and they just apologize for being there. And I have a lot of friends that do that.
Yeah.
And it rubs off on me sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry that I like reacted in a normal way to you while you talked. Like, I'm not going to apologize for that. Like I caught myself doing it so much this last like a few weeks ago, and I was like, no, like never again. So I feel like a little tool that I'd like to give to our listeners is the like a gratitude and like appreciation rather than apologizing. So it's like, I'm sorry I did this. You could just say, I'm really thankful. Like, I appreciate you for giving me the space to feel. Like, I appreciate you like bringing that to my attention. Right. We don't want, I feel like we're so good at paying attention to what we don't want that we don't even look at what we do want. And I feel like saying I'm sorry is constantly bringing your attention and your focus to, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make you feel unhappy. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to be not perfect. But it's like, I am okay with not being great at everything all the time. Cool. I'm okay with, and I'm appreciative that you're giving me the space to stay accountable. You're giving me the space to be myself. I appreciate you. Right. So it's really transforming that, like what you told me when we first started our sessions, this time you said, it's about connecting to your abundance rather than getting rid of your lack. And I feel like that's something that I've been like telling myself for a long time now. So ever since you said it, I'm like, like, I don't want to get rid of my lack, because then I'm focused on all of the things I don't have. I know. Rather than just like connecting to this like beautiful circuitry that we all have.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I forgot I said that. I was just like, huh? Did I say that?
You did. Okay. You wise woman, you.
I know. This is why I record stuff, like this is why I was like, let's record GAM sessions, because I honestly don't remember half of the stuff that I talk about. So yeah.
Dude, same. I will sit and talk to myself like on my own, and I'm like, dang, I should have recorded that. That was cool.
That was cool. I'm saying that to you anytime you sit down, just hear my voice saying, that's cool. Gee, you're so cool. Oh my God, let's go. Gee, let's go. But yeah, I loved the tips that you shared, and thank you so much, everyone, for sitting through our blundering messages and mistakes, which I won't edit so that we remember how embarrassing we are. I mean, that's part of the deal that we are here for. But thank you so much for sticking around till the end. I have a lot to get into, and I'm sure that she will be an amazing supportive person like she is, and she'll call me out on my shirt, which I'm appreciative of. So tune in next episode to watch me get bashed up. I'll see you in that one. We'll see you in that one.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Woohoo.